You will be surprised to know that just a small mistake in physiology in old age can lead to stroke, infection, even loss of bladder control. Do you believe that is true? Perhaps you or your loved ones are unknowingly making this mistake. What do you think? Should physiological needs in old age be hidden away because of shyness, because of embarrassment? Or is it time to courageously admit and understand correctly? Leave a comment below. If you have ever witnessed or experienced this situation, you are not alone. Many people are silently facing it the wrong way and paying the price. In fact, physiological needs do not disappear with age. It is just more silent, more discreet, and more easily misunderstood. But the most dangerous thing is that many older people are handling it themselves, by word of mouth or hearsay, without medical knowledge, without the support of a doctor or relatives. And the consequences are not always seen immediately, but when seen, it is often too late. In today's video, I will share with you the 5 most harmful mistakes that older people are prone to make when dealing with their physiological needs. You will know: why is improper self-treatment dangerous to life? Which familiar foods are killing the physiological ability of the elderly? And what is the right solution, safe, discreet, and effective in the long term? So, where do mistakes start? From ignorance, from the fear of not daring to ask anyone, and also from word of mouth. That seems right, but is completely wrong. Everyone has their own needs. But when we get older, the body no longer functions as before. And if we handle it the old way, the results are not only unsatisfactory, but can also silently destroy our health. So specifically, what are those mistakes? Below are the 5 most harmful mistakes that many older people have and are unintentionally making when handling their own physiological needs. I hope that, after listening, you will avoid unnecessary risks and find a more correct, safer, gentler direction for yourself or your loved ones. And the first mistake comes from something that seems very normal: hiding, because they think it's bad. It's something that shouldn't be said. It's something that's embarrassing if someone finds out. Ashamed, hiding, and then tormenting themselves. That is a very common mentality among many older people. Maybe they had a strict youth. Maybe they're afraid of being judged by their children and grandchildren. Or simply, they don't know where to start talking. But you know, when the pain is hidden for too long, it doesn't go away, but only turns into a simmering pressure in the heart. And when the mind is burdened, then health also declines. They forget one important thing: sharing is the way to heal. It's not that the elderly have to speak up, but relatives need to take the initiative to speak up first. Gently. No lleiament. Don't ask questions. Simply create a space of trust. Let them know: I'm not being looked down upon. I'm being heard. Because sometimes, just a small question, "Are you feeling uncomfortable lately?" can open a door to healing. The second mistake starts from the desire to be better, quickly. Many people, due to lack of information, due to psychological pressure, or because of a little impatience to regain the old feeling, have chosen to use sexual enhancement drugs on their own. Not a few people. By tablets, bottles of liquid, or patches. Through a tip. On the internet. Or from someone who has tried it. Just to immediately improve their emotions. Just to feel healthy for a moment. But the consequences are long-lasting in silence. High blood pressure. Arrhythmia. Worsening erectile dysfunction. Even kidney failure, if used for a long time. Because you don't know. The body of a 60 to 70-year-old is not the same as a 30-year-old. And not everything that can be stimulated is safe for the heart, liver, and kidneys that are being worn out by time. So the solution is: absolutely do not self-treat at home. Even if it's just a pill. You need to ask your doctor first. Not because it's serious, but because you deserve to be properly protected. You don't have to suffer in silence. And you don't have to risk it just to get a few minutes of temporary forgetfulness. Talking to a specialist. It's not only the right thing to do, but also the way for you to take care of your health properly and responsibly. The third mistake is not loud. No one mentions it, but it is silently destroying the spirit and emotions of many people. That is, dependence on pornography. When there is no longer a partner, when living alone, when the feeling of loneliness lasts for a long time, many people turn to sensitive images and videos as a way to relieve their psychological stress. At first, it may feel better, lighter, but the more you watch, the deeper you sink. And science has shown that. Research from Cambridge University, UK, shows that pornography abuse activates the same brain region as drug or alcohol addicts. That is, the more you watch, the more your brain remembers the feeling of satisfaction, and requires repetition to maintain the feeling. From there, dependence is born. It is difficult to quit. Not only that, according to the American Psychological Association, APA, excessive use of pornography is linked to depression, social anxiety, feelings of guilt, and decreased satisfaction with real life. In older adults, when emotions are already sensitive, this dependence can easily lead to psychological disorders, loss of connection with children and grandchildren, and even avoidance of all social interactions. The solution is: no one should have to overcome loneliness alone. Create conditions for older adults to reconnect with real life. Join health or wellness clubs. Walk with an elderly friend every morning. Practice meditation to calm and relax the mind. Or simply, chat with your children and grandchildren every day. Science also shows that when older adults maintain positive social connections, the levels of happiness hormones like oxytocin and dopamine increase, which helps improve mood, reduce depression, and slow down psychological aging. The fourth mistake comes from a seemingly harmless thought. At this age, who else can I infect? It sounds reasonable, but the reality is completely the opposite. Because they think they have no one else. Many people are subjective, not using safety measures during their late, emotional intimacy. But sexually transmitted diseases do not discriminate by age, whether you are 30 or 70 years old. As long as you have unprotected intimate contact, the risk is the same. According to the World Health Organization, WHO, people over 60 years old are still at risk of sexually transmitted diseases, especially when not using condoms and having unstable sexual partners. A statistic from the U.S. Centers for Disease Control (CDC) shows that the rate of syphilis and HIV infection in the 60-plus age group is increasing rapidly, because most people in this age group no longer think about prevention.
And you know what is events caries?
The initial symptoms in older people are often very faint, so the disease can silently destroy health.
Cause immunodéficience, systémique inflammation.
And if not detected in time, can lead to death. Don't be afraid to use protection, no matter what age you are. Safety is not just for young people. It's the right to health protection.
For everyone.
At all times. If you have a new sexual partner, or feel insecure about your health, take the initiative to have regular checkups at specialized clinics. It's not because you're doing anything wrong.
It's because you value yourself.
The fifth mistake sounds familiar, but is the most dangerous. That is, not going to see a doctor or specialist for fear of being judged, for fear of children knowing and laughing, for thinking This is not worth seeing a doctor about. So many people choose to stay silent, endure it themselves, struggling to find a solution themselves, until things have gone too far. Did you know? According to a study published in the Journal of Sexual Medicine, nearly 70% of older people with sexual dysfunction do not go to the doctor, even though they have obvious symptoms. Meanwhile, with just one consultation with a specialist, many problems can be resolved early, reducing the risk of depression, decreased sexual function, and significantly improving quality of life. Backhand index pointing right. What is the solution? Be bold and seek out a specialist. Not because you are weak. Not because you are doing something wrong. But because health, both physical and emotional, is something worth paying attention to. Nowadays, there are many reputable psychological and sexology clinics, with private, discreet spaces, and a team of gentle, understanding consultants, ready to listen without judgment. A small appointment can open up a new life, gentle, confident, and more complete. So you have gone through with me the 5 most harmful mistakes that older people often make when dealing with their physiological needs. If you find this information useful, don't forget to share the video with your loved ones, and leave a comment if you have experienced or witnessed something similar. You are not alone, and you deserve to live a full life, at any age. True story about Mr. Richard, 72 years old, living in California. Richard is a man who lives alone after his wife passed away. He used to be a teacher, healthy, gentle. But like many other elderly people, he rarely shares his private life with anyone. After a long time of feeling lonely, Richard started to turn to pornographic videos as a way to relieve himself. At first, just a few minutes a week. But gradually, he became addicted to it. He began to have insomnia, lose concentration, and feel guilty about himself. Worse, during a time of masturbating too much, he suffered a sudden drop in blood pressure and had to be hospitalized in the middle of the night. At the hospital, the doctor discovered that he had used an unknown stimulant, bought online. After that, Richard was referred to a psychologist and a sexologist.
And the miracle happened.
After just 3 months of regular therapy, he felt lighter,
Slept better.
and most importantly, no longer felt ashamed of himself. Richard's story is a reminder that intimacy and emotion are very human, whether you're 30 or 70, and you deserve to be healthy, physically and mentally.
Dire frien.
Old age does not mean stopping. It is the time we learn to live slower, deeper, and understand ourselves better.
5 mistakes today.
Are not to blame, but to remind each other that taking care of physiological needs is also taking care of mental health. If you find this video useful, please click like, subscribe to the channel, and share it with your loved ones, so that no one has to suffer silently. If you have anything to share,
Don't hésiter à tout leave a comment below.
I will read and respond as best as possible.
Wishing you good health. Peace in every moment.
And always be confident with your own body and emotions, no matter what age. Thank you for listening. See you in the next videos. Goodbye.